we have the MMA fighter who is going to be main eventing at 559 Fights number 64 next Saturday, April 21st. His name is Chris Avalos. Good morning, man.
Good morning, Joey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Good, man. Thank you for traveling here to the studio to be with us live. I appreciate you doing that. Tell me a little bit about your training for this fight, man, because I feel like we just saw you in the cage.
Yeah, you know, I was in the cage not that long ago, but I never stopped training. You know, took a week off, but I'm back in the gym. I'm always in the gym training, getting ready for what's next to come.
So for you, it's like you're always ready. So it's like, for example, somebody calls you tomorrow and says, hey, man, we might need you in a couple weeks. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm not going to miss an opportunity.
Now, where did you get this fighter's mentality, man? Because, I mean, I feel like, you know, in the world of MMA, you got to have a little mentality in you to be like, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat somebody down. Tell me a little bit about your background.
I think I got that from the way I grew up. You know,
Okay.
The city I grew up in and just the people I'm always around. You know, they gave me that mentality that I have today. And just my family, man. My dad is a sergeant, and he has a strong mentality, and he gives me a lot of knowledge in that.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Parlier, California, a small town, you know, chiquitos pero picosos.
Okay. Chiquitos pero picosos. What does that mean in
It's
English?
like
That's you're
little
small, but you're
yeah.
spicy, right?
Hot, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So is that a slogan that you guys use out there, a lot of people?
Yeah, that's a slogan that my coach uses a lot.
Now, you got a big fight coming up next Saturday, but tell me when you first got into the cage, who motivated you to start training to become an MMA fighter?
It was one of my friends of mine. He invited me to go and try it out one day, and I didn't want to go, but my brother ended up going, and he dragged me into it. He was like, just go, you're going to like it. And as soon as I went, the first day, my coaches, they seen something in me that they liked, and they were like, you should stick around to see what you're capable of. And I stuck around, and here I am today. I'm still doing it.
Wow. How long was that ago?
That was about 3 years ago.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you walk into the gym, you start training. When does it start getting serious for you when you're like, okay, I'm ready for my first fight?
After a year of experience, I got my confidence up. You know, the first couple months, I didn't really have confidence in myself, but after a year, I had the confidence enough to step in that cage.
And was there like a certain type of fear, like before you're about to get in the cage, a certain type of fear of like, man, like I'm about to go to war with somebody one-on-one in the cage. Did you have that fear as you were going in for that first fight?
I was nervous my first fight. You know, obviously there's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of people around, but I tried to blur it all out. And you know, whatever happens, happens in that cage.
What's the main thing that you focus on? Right? I mean, do you start looking at the other guy right when you get into the cage?
Yeah, as soon as I get in the cage, my focus is 100% on my opponent, and I never take my eyes off of them.
That's scary.
Keep looking at them.
When you got a land shark just looking straight at you, man, you're going, oh no. How do I get out of this cage?
You're in for a good one when you're in there with me.
No, man. Well, one of your most recent fights, we had on the air your opponent, Uni Valencia.
Yeah.
He's also a 559 Fights champion. It was champion versus champion, and it was billed as that on the posters and stuff. And, you know, you went in there and you pretty much dominated that fight the way that you ended it. How did you feel after that last fight?
After that last performance, I felt like I was the champion of the world, you know. But I wanted to stand him up, but my coaches just told me to keep him down. So I just followed instructions and I did my job.
Now, did you go up in weight that fight?
No, I stayed in the same weight.
That's right. You stayed in the same weight. He had to. He went up,
had
right?
to gain some
yeah,
weight.
Yeah, he had to gain some weight. But yeah, so I mean, that was obviously more of a special fight that took place. But this fight coming up next Saturday, April 21st. Do you know anything about your opponent?
I don't know too much about him, but I'm ready for any opponent because, you know, what they say, any opponent can pull out and anybody can get in. So I just focused on what I got to do to get ready. I don't like to study my opponents too much.
So you really don't kind of go in there, watch tape or anything, or watch his previous fights?
I watch some tape, but not too much because I don't want to overthink what he's going to do to me because every opponent, every fight comes a little different.
So what are you looking for when you actually watch the tape? Are you looking just for certain little quick maneuvers or things that they do? Or
just looking for mistakes that I can capitalize on, like if he has his hands down or if he's throwing sloppy kicks or anything like that I can capitalize on.
Your opponent's name is Robert Davis.
Yeah,
Robert Davis, and you guys are going to be battling for the Camo Championship, California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization. Is that a big accomplishment for you now that you're a 559 Fights champion? You're trying to get this Camo State Championship.
Yeah, that's another big accomplishment of mine. It's one of my goals that's been on my head for the last year now. After I won that bout, I had to set another goal for myself so I can keep training hard. And I know that my opponent's going to be a little heavier. That's why he's cutting weight to get to my weight. So I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Now, I know there's rumors going on out there that this could be your last amateur fight. Is that true?
Somewhat true, because I got something else set up next month.
Okay.
So I'll be talking about that after this fight.
Okay, all right. So you're keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, keeping everybody guessing.
With the updates.
I can't spoil it yet. Yeah.
All right. So obviously your goal is to become pro, though.
Yeah, that's my goal.
That's the ultimate goal.
And what I hear now, I'm returning professional in November, so
okay.
That's what I've heard. So that's what we're looking for.
So you become pro, right? What's your goal there? Your goal there again to kind of dominate like you did amateurs and just keep it going, keep the undefeated streak going?
Yeah, that's my goal. Keep it undefeated and trying to get hurt in there so I can keep this career going for a long time and eventually make it to the top. That's the goal.
And when you say the top, what does that mean? Does that mean the UFC?
That means the UFC or any big promotion that's going to pay me well, you know?
You're about that payment.
Yeah, I need to get that money because...
Well, what do you do right now for a living?
Oh, right now I work in construction. I remodel houses with my father, and it's a pretty tough job.
Okay.
And I used to cut hair, but I had to give up cutting hair for MMA because I can't do it all.
Wow. So you've cut hair before. You're now in construction. Your goal is to make those big bucks. With MMA. That's your ultimate goal, right?
Yeah, the ultimate goal.
Okay.
And just to be a great fighter. Everybody wants to see a good fighter fight every time. And that's gonna be me.
Do you feel any pressure, Chris, with that undefeated record? Do you sometimes go into it or think about it, or do you not even think about it at all? You don't think about your record?
I don't think about my record.
Gotcha.
I go in there and I turn into the land shark, and I already know that the person in front of me, that's the guy who I have to destroy, and that's it. I don't really think about the record, like, I'm gonna try not to hit him or try to be safe and not lose my winning streak. I don't care about that.
That's not even on your mind.
I just worry about winning all the time.
Now, you do this thing when you're in the cage. You create the shark, right?
Yeah.
Can you show us really quick here on screen what that?
The shark bite. It's called the shark bite. We do this right here.
There it is. Yeah.
And then you do the other side. Bam.
That's intimidating, brother. I mean, if I'm on the other side of the cage and you do that to me, I'm like, what is he doing?
What's going on? Yeah.
Are those weapons? What are you? Are you calling your friends to come beat me up or something?
Are those some gang signs? Nah, that's the shark bite.
Chris, one of the things that I admire about you, man, is your work ethic. I mean, I've seen videos of your training. I've seen, people talk about you, and what people say. The first thing they say is, this guy does not stop training. I mean, he works hard and he grinds. And like I said, I watched video of your training because we do those highlight videos, for the promos and stuff. And I'm like, man, this guy's a beast. And even our videographer, he was like, I filmed him, and the guy's a beast. A lot of people just say that about you. When you hear those things, does it motivate you even more because you're like, man, what I'm doing, like, people are taking notice of it?
Yeah, it motivates me because people are starting to realize my hard work is paying off. And I wasn't always this good at fighting. It takes time to learn this techniques. I learned from my coaches, Mike Morano and Ralph Alvarado. And every time I hear that, people commenting on me like that, it just makes me want to keep going, keep working harder, because I know that dreams are can become into realities, and my dreams are becoming realities right now.
I like it. 559 Fights number 64 happens April 21st. That's next Saturday out at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in downtown Fresno. You guys definitely do not want to miss that event. April 21st, Saturday, Doubletree Hilton Hotel in downtown Fresno. And it's going to be opening at 6 p.m. The doors open. First fight at 7 p.m. Chris Avalos here is going to be in the main event of that 559 Fights event. For more information, go to 559fights.com. You got a T-shirt on that says Avalos Brothers.
Yeah.
Tell people what that means and who the other brother is.
It's the Avalos brothers. Me and my brother, Jose Avalos. He's also a fighter, and he's a professional right now. So everything's going good for us. That's something that we're rolling with. and it's becoming a name for ourselves.
Well, kind of like the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of started with that thing where the brothers were kind of together on competing and stuff. Was he kind of a motivation to you as well? Because he's the one that showed you and said, you're going to like this. Come on in, right?
Yeah.
So now that you see him as a pro and you watch him, are you kind of like fascinated by the fact, man, I want to be in my brother's footsteps?
Yeah, he's a big motivation, inspiration to me. I go to all his fights and I see him backstage, and it motivates me. It drives me for my fights. And I was just there at the Tachi Palace when he fought, so that gives me a lot of energy to go into my fight, be focused and relentless, not scared of anything, because I already seen how it is in the pros, and that's what I'm getting ready for.
Exactly. So that's great to see that you have a brother, is he an older brother?
Yeah, he's my older brother, and every time that I don't want to go train or something, he's the one who pushes me. Like, hey, get up! Like, you gotta go. You got a fight coming.
Man, so here you are. I'm gonna take the day off. I'm not gonna fight.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna train today. I'm tired. Your big brother's like, no, you're not.
You gotta go. And I was like, oh, all right.
That's cool, man. That's cool that you guys motivate each other like
Yeah.
that. Anyways, man. All right, April 21st, you're in the main event, fighting for that Camo State Championship, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out here this morning. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Ralph's House MMA and all my training partners that train there, and Coach Mike Moreno, and all my fans. Without y'all, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Y'all motivate me to the fullest, and I know on April 21st at the DoubleTree Hotel by Hilton is going to be a full house in there. I already know I'm going to feel that energy when I'm in that cage.
There it is, Chris Avalos. Can we do it again one more time? The Land Shark.
Shark bite.
Yeah, there it is. The Land Shark. All right, there it is. Chris
thank you.
Avalos, thank you for joining me this morning. More eggs, bacon, and Joey on the way. Stay with us, folks.